other than, I hear gonna call her TK. TK, good morning.
Good morning.
You're listening to us. You watched the BBC documentary. What are your thoughts on the BBC documentary Blood Parliament? Okay, it highlights the Gen Z protests. It also brings something different, fresh perspective. What happened in, or rather, who pulled the trigger? I'm just gonna say it. Who pulled the trigger? In studio, we have an activist. Her name is Christine Khabuya. She's been here before. She's not new. Christine, karibu sana. Habari asubuhi. Why can't I hear you? There, I got you. Now I got you. Okay.
Hii habari ya usubuhi sijui kwangu iko aje. I think tukiendelea nitajua iko aje.
Yes.
Yes, sitaki kusema iko nzuri. Maybe it's not nzuri to my side yet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. TK, I want to start with, I know you have watched the BBC documentary, Blood Parliament. What are your thoughts on that?
Actually, personally, I would say that's an investigation and a report that has been made out that we have never been getting for the longest time, because we usually wait, because when a case gets to an investigation stage, then we let it to the persons and the institutions in charge and mandated to do the investigation, to do their investigation and then take action, prosecuting and due to the justice system process, and again we so that we can receive feedbacks and updates or reports on whatever that is going on, which we have not received for all these months since last year, 2024 June 25th, which this is a very, very eye-opener, mind-blowing, that whatever that we have been waiting for from the persons and the institutions that are mandated are in the constitutions and into their duties, they are not bringing out this thing timely. And now BBC has brought this documentary to us, which it's a must watch. A must watch and a must learn from it, and a must do accountability. The now citizen accountability, pushing for the institutions and our offices and our officers to act, to give us reports, to give us whatever that they have discovered, what action have been taken, so that to seeing the violators, the persons who shot at the youth, who are just coming to protest, exercising their rights, raising up their hands, saying that we are peaceful. Whatever that we want is the finance bill to be rejected.
Okay. Yes. So we earlier on, before you joined us, we were talking about our reactions, right? After watching the documentary, what came to mind. And I think, just like you mentioned, my thought was, it's funny how a media house had to come and do its own investigations, and we didn't have that in our own country. And Gonna said that the documentary is what's the word?
Business.
Is a business ploy. And then Salim, what did you say?
I just said apart from the business part, Historia IPOA. They had to wait documentary and then wakuja watambie investigation ya 60 people and then wamemanage kumaliza za 22. Lakini hatukuwa tunajua kama hiyo kitu wamefanya.
So having watched that, your reaction, how did that, first of all, it takes us back, but then also, how did it make you feel as somebody who went to the streets and you're part of the protests and you're part of the team that was saying we need justice, right?
Yes.
What got triggered out of that?
Actually, I watched that documentary. Even before I came here, I watched it. That documentary brings a live picture of whatever that was happening, and reminds and sparks the memory that had been sleeping on the events that took place 25th June, which it's good. I feel like it's good now that at least there is a documentation of whatever that was happening that day, to at least have it in the history that this thing happened. You know, sometimes people forget, especially Kenyans. We are good at forgetting things and then picking up with whatever that is trending. Another thing is the anger that came out, having seen these men in uniform, other men who are plain clothed, and others who are hiding their faces. Kwani, who are these people? What were their mission? Especially those that are in plain clothes and hiding their faces but having rifles. What were their mission? Kwani, who are they working for? At least these questions need to be need to be talked about by our government, by our security apparatus, because you cannot say that the security of our people is safe, yet persons who are dealing and violating the rights of the citizens are covered, and we cannot reach out to them, yet we had officers on the ground, and then you're saying that we don't know those people. We cannot reach out to them. Why? It's your mandate. You're supposed to protect us. It's our right, not a privilege as citizens to be under security. We have to be secure in our constitution. That's something that brought it out. And the fact that these young men, nigga, this is a future. In that documentary, you can just hear whatever these youths were either studying, whatever that they were doing to contribute to the economic of this country. Now their dreams are shut. Their families are there. Their friends, their colleagues, comrades. You know, these are a dream shut, and not just one dream. It's big dreams. Because we usually believe and say, if you hurt one of us, you've hurted all of us.
Okay, I want to play a reaction from our members of parliament after the documentary was released. Let's listen in and then react to it.
It happens world over. People are killed. Our people are killed. We sympathize. We moved on. Even world over. And it touches on lack of patriotism also on our part, trying to showcase things done by a foreign media.
Is BBC speaking as a mouthpiece of the government and the people of Britain? Or what is it that the BBC is doing? Could it be an attempt to untwist this country so that they can rescind on the rider that we put on their training of the Batuk units in Kenya, Mr. Speaker? Because even some of the photos that we were seeing out of the streets, I can tell you as a graphic editor that they do not belong to this country. Photos were being taken off the internet and being edited.
You can't stop the media. Somebody else will fuel that anger again. But I would appeal that we set up a select committee to deal with this issue.
Christian, that is the reaction of some of the members of parliament. And what do you think about that?
It's so bad or so sad that these members of parliament are persons who came to us in 2022 while they were jobless, selling to us their CV. We did the appointing, and we decided to give some of them who are in the parliament job, while we ourselves are jobless, believing that they will go and implement whatever that they sold to us, the CV and the representation. These people are there to represent the persons who sent them there, the electorates. They are not there to go and our leaders. You're not there to go serve your interests or another person's interest. You're there to go represent the people, because the people had already said that we don't want this, we want this. Again, you're just there saying that it's Photoshop. You're saying that this should be stopped. How should it be stopped, yet you're not performing, you're not working? Our leaders are failing us. Because if we had strong leaders who listens to the people and go to represent the people, because all the leaders that we do elect, they all have this primary mandate to go represent the people, apart from legislation and etc. They fail us, and we have seen that like since times back. And so it's so sad that now if the people now decide to exercise the Article 1 of the Constitution through Article 37, tulikuwa tumeitwa ma-criminals while we were speaking out whatever that we want, because now the persons that we have sent into the parliament to go represent, which is now under being titled as a blood parliament, to go represent us, they are not representing us. They're not speaking our voice. They're not speaking our mind. So as citizens, now we go back to the first article of the Constitution. The sovereign power of this Constitution belongs to the people of Kenya.
Why do you think our MPs wame overreact? Because mi naiona kama overreaction. Juzi pale MP Kaluma, yeye alisema hata inafaa isionyeshwe haswa. Why do we see this overreaction? Is it that pengine the executive wanawatumia, ama kuna kitu gani pale ambacho kinawafanya wao wakuwe na hasira katika ile makala yote?
Labda ni pose a simple question. Let's say, for example, you're a treasurer of a group, and then you have like 20,000 that you cannot account for, and then the members are asking the accountability of the 20,000. Usual reaction from the treasurers inakuanga aje? They're defensive, they're angry, they don't want to be asked about whatever that is going on.
And I kept on asking, because we were having this conversation, why are they angry? Like, if you have nothing to hide,
why?
Like, what am I triggering?
Yeah, why? Like, usually how we do react to things, sometimes it's justified and it builds up a picture in our minds, the fact that we are human beings. Why should you overreact yet you're not involved in that thing? Why are you feeling guilty? Why are you feeling guilty yet you're not part of whatever that is being done or had been done? That means there is someone somewhere who is not doing their work how it's supposed to be done, taking a lot of time, relaxing, chilling, because now we, the people of Kenya, we do forget and we move on. We ask a little bit and then we forget and we let things go. We move with the waves. Hii itakuwa tu kama ile ingine itaenda. You remember we had cases bodies being found in Riverella some years back. Did we receive a report of the investigation? Maybe some media will come and do the documentary on the Riverella. Sometimes the bodies that are being found were found some years back again in Tsavo, and then reaction will come. Sijui but those are years back. For this one, what's happening? People were killed, people were shot at, and imagine that's just one day, one county. What if now we get other documentaries to streamline whatever happened in other counties the same day, and then we have this other documentary streamlining whatever that happened from 18th at December.
Yeah.
Because we have events that had been going on, the killings, the abduction, which we don't have reports, we don't have updates on, at least that has happened, this one has been arrested, this one has been prosecuted, this one has been suspended, pending investigation. And now you see they on the documentary, at the end, they tell you that they went to the police.
They did. They reached out to them. Yes.
And they said, we cannot investigate ourselves.
Hapa kwa hii documentary ni kipi ambacho kinaweza kuwa kina utofauti, kwa sababu nahisi kama mwaka jana by hiyo tarehe ama tarehe 26 sisi watu wengi huku nje walijua kwamba hawa waliuawa na askari, kwa sababu picha zilikuwa tayari zimeonekana, filamu ndogo zilikuwa zimeonekana. Ni kipi ambacho kimekuwa na utofauti ama ambacho kimeonyesha tofauti katika hii documentary ambao nimeona within 24 hours ilikuwa iko over 2 million views? Ile tofauti imetokea wapi haswa? Because I feel like Kenyans walikuwa at least wanajua kwamba walioua ni hawa. Pengine ni majina ama ni nini, yani ule tofauti uko wapi haswa?
Katika hii documentary right now enye iko tofauti na zile videos ndogo ambazo ilikuwa zinatolewa ni the fact that there is a story. Like hii documentary inakuelezea. So when you look at this angle, this was doing this, doing that. So you can relate, and like imekuwa ni ile lugha nyepesi sana kwa mtu kuelewa. Wakati tulikuwa tunatoa zile video ndogo ama zilikuwa zina circulate, ilikuwa ni ile like on a reaction, live reaction, wameua ndio yule mwenye amefanya. And the fact that hizo videos or those photos, kuna time wakati this officer mwenye it's believed that yenda ali shot at Masai Rex, may his soul rest in peace, ilisemekana lazima tupate, of which ni requirement that ile simu yenye ilipiga picha ndio inafaa ipatikane ili ihakikishwe kwamba ndio ichukuliwe kama evidence. But hii ya kila mahali in the court haichukuliwi kama evidence. And then mtu wetu anasema yako hatauni hiyo siku.
Okay, mimi swali langu linakuja hapa. Baadhi ya wale ambao kwamba wana react miongoni mwa wabunge na viongozi wanasema uchafu na machafu hayafanyiki hii nchi peke yake. Wakaleta mpaka mfano wa Laikipia, Batuku ambako kuna majeshi ambao wanafanya mazoezi, Waingereza wamefanya uchafu kule. Ambao hawezi kupigiwa mfano, ni uchafu ambao si mzuri.
Ndio.
Lakini kwa nini wakaamua kwamba hili tukio la tarehe 25 hili lina uzito kuliko yale mengine? Na hata kule ujua watu wamekufa. Na hata hao mataifa mengine ama matukio mengine watu wamekufa. Why specific this one?
Firstly, what I usually say, we should not normalize wrong and justify it as a right thing. Just because something has been getting done over and over again, which is wrong, and then you're like, since imekuwa ikifanyika hivyo, basi labda ndio hivyo the right way. Please, violation is violation. And in fact, I would like to just shame this member of parliament for speaking that thing, for saying that thing. Where Batuk is, that land, uko, the violations that are happening there is that area, it's Nanyuki, yes? Is that Nanyuki out of Kenya?
It's in Kenya.
It's in Kenya. These are Kenyans. wenye wanakuwa violated.
Yeah.
Vitu zenye zina happen huko zenye ziko is a human rights violation are happening to Kenyans.
Yeah.
And then why and how do you as a human, as a member of parliament, go and say something has happening in Nanyuki where there is Batuk and there is nothing that is being done? Why is it that now BBC is highlighting this?
But you see, even when you're saying that that story, whose role, who is supposed to follow up on injustices? Who is supposed to? Isn't it our security force?
But this one now, he documentary.
No, forget the documentary. Yes. Forget the documentary, right? What's happening? He highlighted Batuk, right? It's not new, right?
Yes.
So who is supposed to investigate?
The security.
The Kenyan government should investigate, right?
Yes.
Who's supposed to hold people accountable? Still the Kenyan government, right?
Government.
With what happened with the protests, the Gen Z protest, who's supposed to investigate? It is the Kenyan government who's supposed to hold people accountable. It's the Kenyan government. Now, it's off for him to even make that statement and also saying that, the government is sleeping on its what? On its job.
On its job.
Alisahau.
Then investigate both. Alisahau nini?
Hakuna.
Akataja tu
Aya.
No, but
Alisahau akataja nini?
kwamba vitu vina happen havikuangaliwa.
And then
you see hata hao wanajeshi ni Waingereza.
That's okay.
So na hili shirika linafadhiliwa na serikali ya Uingereza.
Isi Salim.
Mbona kule wale watu wao wanafanya ule uchafu, mbona hawaleti hiyo BBC?
I like how we want to politicize things.
Yes.
And this is the direction that we are very good at taking as a country. Exactly. That we want to politicize everything. Now the other thing we need to understand, Christine,
what I would like to say,
the other thing,
there is a documentary that were taken by a media in Kenya about a story of a girl who in Uko Nanyuki who were later killed. The body was put into a septic tank. This girl succumbed a rape. It's how the story is. It was a gang rape from the soldiers. But do we take action? Like where the
question
bed
is do we take action? Even with our own people, do we take action? So if we're looking at Gona says amesahau, hajasahau. Maybe amejisahau. Maybe amejisahau. He made a statement that he shouldn't have made because it's our government who's supposed to investigate.
Who are supposed to protect us.
Now the other thing,
swali jingine nitauliza.
Ngoja before ulize swali. Media, we drive an agenda.
Yes.
We drive an agenda.
Yes.
And at times we sit down and say, even when you're mapping out things, when you're selecting your story, you always look at what is happening, what are we pushing. We come on, we set agendas. We set agendas. That's a fact, right? So one can say the timing. Fine, we say the timing. The Finance Bill 2025 inakuja, right? The idea was, let's trigger something. Let's remind them. Imefanyika. They've reminded us. But also in reminding us, is it wrong to also just say investigation should have been done? It's not being done and things are being swept under the rug, right? Because again, as media, your role is to be a watchdog. Now, that man is saying, they're also pointing out the fact that all of a sudden, that BBC, things done by a foreign media, and then the attempt was to twist. All of a sudden, it's things done by a foreign media. The attempt is to twist. My question is, why are they nervous?
I wonder.
No, because
Salim, why are you nervous?
How wanazungumzia because by extension the shirika la habari liko funded na serikali ya huko kwao.
Yeah.
And there are things ambazo the government saizi imeamua it's not going the way haiendi the west. Juzi president naona alienda wapi? na akapokelewa vipi. Umeelewa? Hiyo hayo mapokezi yalitrigger some stuffs. So huyo mwenye anasema I'm twisting, ana refer to that.
But why can't we look at the fact that that this we kept on hearing, we do not know who fired who pulled the trigger. We do not know who did this. Oh, there were organized criminals. We do not know. And everybody kept throwing their arms up in the air. We do not know. But now, hi, this is Gona. Nani alikuwa anatembea. This is a back shot, by the way. Nani is running. And this person has pulled the trigger. It's a headshot. Like, kuna mingine ilikuwa headshot. Hey!
I think mbunge kidogo hapo kuchanganyikiwa kwa sababu juzi tu hapa ni mwezi jana nafikiria serikali ilienda mpaka ikaanza kuingilia a certain media house in Kenya kwa sababu ya zile statements wao walikuwa wanaweka na still bado walikuwa wana highlight vitu ambavyo vina happen. So it's so sad kwamba yeye anaanza kusema hiyo ni ya nje wakati zetu hapa zikijaribu kuongea kitu vile iko wao ndio wanakuja wanazifungia vitu. So it's so sad kwamba yeye anaweza pia na statements kama hizo. Na tuseme wabunge asilimia kubwa ya bunge wameonyesha hiyo akilio ya kwamba hii hapana inasukumwa na mataifa mengine ya nje. It's so sad to see that.
Salim, you watched Ridiculous, right?
Yes, I watched.
What were they highlighting?
Ile time wakiigiza kina Moi.
Nakumbuka.
Yes. What was Ridiculous highlighting?
Ilikuwa ina highlight vituko vya serikali. Hata wanamuigiza wakati huo Moi. Wakati wa zama zile za mtukufu rais alikuwa akisema amesema na itakuwa hivyo na hakuna wakupinga na hivyo ndivyo itakavyokaa. Na watu waliigiza.
So what has changed between the man who was part of this Ridiculous team that was calling out the government?
Nimeelewa kama hapo ndio unakuja.
Ulichelewa sana.
Yes.
Ulichelewa sana.
What has happened to that man who
the graphic designer?
What has happened to that person to the person we are seeing right now?
Lamba.
Like
lamba. Hiyo ni lamba. Now mimi nina swali moja. Could it be hapa mahali ambapo tumefika ni zile kauli ambazo kwamba zilitoka towards wacha niite the climax day yenye imetufikisha hapa. Matamshi ambayo kwamba yalitoka kwa viongozi wakuu hapa nchini kwamba hii inaitwa nini ile word ya uhaini kwa kizungu ni uhaini, treason. That word was used. Alafu the criminal, sasa criminal ndio ilikuwa yenyewe ilitumika sana. Is it wewe ulikuwa kwenye maandamano, ulifuatilia maandamano kutoka kona zote za nchi? Sote tulifuatilia, lakini wewe ulikuwa kwa ground. Is it that hayo maneno yalichangia hapa ambapo tulifikia mpaka watu wakapoteza maisha?
Siku zote unaambiwa matamshi tunayatoa huenda yakawa sumu ama yakawa hasali.
Okay.
Na wakati huyu kiongozi anaongea vile na kuna watu wanaangalia, watu ambao wamegadhabika. Unajua wakati watu wako na ghadhabu kuna maneno ambayo huwezi ukasema kwa sababu yatajaza kabisa ile ghadhabu yenye watu wako nayo, hasira ambayo wako nayo. Na kuna maneno pia watu wakiwa na hasira na ghadhabu, kuna maneno ambayo ukiyasema yataweza kupunguza zile hasira. So haya maneno ambayo huwa viongozi wetu wanayaongea, hata wakati tulikuwa kwa maandamano, like you could see clearly hii ni incitement kutoka kwa hawa viongozi wetu. Hawa ndio wana fuel anga ya vijana kuweza kufanya kuendelea kubaki pale katika barabara. Ndio bado inapatia watu nguvu, like mbona mtu kiongozi ambaye tumemchagua akuwe katika record akisema yeye kama angekuwa ndio kiongozi wa nchi angeua Gen Zs. 5,000 kila siku, alafu tu watu wenyewe tu wakai watulie. Doesn't make sense. Mbona huyu kiongozi akuje akai katika akuepia katika record akisema kwamba hao wenye wako katika ground ni wajinga wenye wazazi wao wamewashindwa na hawawezi kufanya kitu chochote, na you cannot do anything, we are already deciding on your behalf, alafu mtu asikasirike.
So kwa ufupi unasema walitumia hayo maneno kwa animate and then hili litokee.
Hayo maneno yao ndio yalifanya ile anga ika build up ikazidi zaidi. Juzi tulikuwa na hii echoes of war.
Yes.
The reactions kutoka kwa hao viongozi ndio ilijaza watu zaidi kutaka kujua echoes of war kuna nini, na kwa nini watoto wadogo wanakimbizwa, wanakuwa tear gassed, wanazuiliwa from doing their rehearsals, of which mazee mimi ile time tukiwa katika hiyo nilisema tu a very big shame on all women elected and appointed leaders. Who came up and speak? Who came up out and even cared for what was happening for the young girls? Walisema negatively, like, how do you even say that? These are children wenye hajafika 17 years wanakuwa tear gassed.
One of them said Cleophas wasn't supposed to be in the dormitory. Anyway, so away from the echoes of war, I like what Christine is saying. You see, Salim, when it suits our leaders, they do things when it suits them.
Yes.
And so we see these same leaders gang up and say Ruto must go. We see the same leaders make reckless statements just in the media space, right? And they're not ganging up in arms, Sindio. So to them it's okay. Now when we flip the coin and we mirror, when we flip it and there's a mirror, held kwao, then all of a sudden, what are you saying? We are righteous, we are this. But you've been doing it. You've been standing on those podiums and saying or making all those reckless statements. You've been harsh, you've been
rude,
all that. So now when media houses are doing their role, there's a problem. When Standard Media Group, we see it, is calling out what's happening.
That is a problem.
There's a threat.
Yes.
They're being harassed.
Kuna modernity and moderate. Modernity na kumoderate. Kuna vitu this country is ours all.
Thank you.
Na lazima tuilinde. Vyombo vya habari tulinde nchi yetu. Na Wakenya tulinde nchi yetu. So kuna vitu usemi. Please.
What do you mean vitu gani usemi? What do you mean?
You cannot come unaanza kusema vitu ambazo hazieleweki.
Vitu gani?
Kwa uongozi wa nchi.
Like kusema mtukufu lies.
Lakini kwa mfano kama nakuelewa vizuri kama anasema kwamba media houses lakini najua it doesn't mean it kwamba wanaongea vitu ambavyo vinatanish nchi yetu, lakini bado rais mwenyewe
hii makala si ndio hiyo.
Subiri, rais mwenyewe alipoenda mahali na akasema Kenyans have complement issues, yeye mwenyewe alikuwa yafanya nini kusema hivyo? Yeye mwenyewe kwa kauli yake hiyo inamaanisha nini? Because wewe ndio kiongozi wa nchi, huwezi keti ukasema kwamba lakini Wakenya wenyewe hawawezi ongea uzuri
wakiwa huko.
Sasa kama yeye anasema hivyo nini
alisema yeye?
Ngoja, unajua sisi ni tunasema nini? Mgala muwe haki yake mpe. Ukifanya kibaya twakupa pia haki yako. We critique you, we bring the mirror and then reflect it to yourself, like hii ndo kitu unafanya, tunakupea hii ndo kitu unafanya.
But kuwe na mipaka
ya kukwambia ukweli. Sikwambia ukweli.
I mean, the fact that this documentary, the fact that people are so angry, and by the way, look at the other side. Who's angry? Who's angry?
Who's
mad?
Ni kama wabunge ndio now they are mad.
Ni kama wao ndio wanafaa kufanya hiyo investigation and you wonder.
No, because you can't come in a country bunge la nchi afu unalibandika neno blood.
Kwa hiyo issue ni hiyo title.
Unaona hiyo
wangesema artistic expression. We have the right to
you cannot identify.
Na hiyo title ilimaanisha damu ilimwagika pale.
Ndio blood pale.
Ndio
damu ilimwagika pale.
Hapo was spilled on parliament soil.
Come to think of
it was.
The choice of wording.
Okay.
Haikuwa nini.
Sasa pengine
kitu yenye unatajaribu kufanya like tupambe kitu yenye ni mbaya.
Irembeshwe kidogo.
Tafadhali like hiki samahani kusema hiki ni kinyesi tukipake nini zinaitwa nini chocolate
ile kisiwe
weka ice
oya hii generation si ile generation yenye ilikuwa inafanya hizi vitu. Sasa hii ni generation ambayo inaongea ukweli ni ukweli na ni ukweli.
Hiyo ni ya kumuingilia Salim. Lakini sasa tukirudi tu pale pale kwa hii documentary imetoka na nimekuwa tu nikirejelea kwamba haya si mambo ambayo si mambo mageni. Si mageni. Sasa sawa, documentary hii imetoka, watu watch kwa kuwatch imeongelewa sana. What next? Kwa sababu tayari wale wameanza kujibu kwamba IPOA wamekamilisha sijui
uchunguzi wa visa 20 kati ya 60 vile.
Ni nini ambacho tunatarajia haswa baada ya hii documentary? Tutaona wakishtakiwa wale waliofanya mauaji ama ni nini tutarajie sisi kama wananchi? Yani what next?
Like what next? What after seeing this again as an activist again, what do you expect from the Kenyan government?
Personally, whatever that I expect is uchunguzi uharakishwe.
Ndio.
Na ufanywe kwa ufasaha, sio kuharakishwa tu. Ufanywe kwa ufasaha na action ikuwe taken. Hawa wenye walihusika.
Ndio.
Manake sasa hii as we speak, obvious bado wana serve. Obvious. Bado wana serve. So an action should be taken against them because their leaders, their bosses wanasema they didn't give an order. They didn't say that you should kill. Hadi unasikia mtu anasema ua why action should be taken. Hii investigation ifanyike haraka na tupate pia a brief report ya your investigation. See just ifanyike and then iko kwa makabat. If at all this blood parliament documentary haikutoka, tungejua IPOA that wamefanya finish or finalize the 22 investigations. Hatungejua kama pia IPOA haijaenda kwa KDF kuitisha a time na support ya investigation to investigate the KDF officers wenye inasemekana walikuwa pale kwa ground na wenye wali pull the triggers. Sasa kama hawajaenda ni investigation zipi so far, like giving us just an update that tume investigate hapa ndo tumefikia. Don't give us all the details, manake wanasemanga security reports haziwezi zikakuwa shared publicly, but just details ambazo zinakipu watu zenye zinakipu watu jua hii kazi kweli inaendelea. Na after the investigation na watu wakuwa arrested,
wapelekwa mahakama.
Now justice system process ifanye kazi na tunataka tuone matokeo ambapo hawa wenye walihusika wanashikwa, wanakuwa arraigned in court, prosecuted na pia wakuwe convicted. We have a successful case ya Kwekwe Mandoza over here. Au officers wenye walienda waka pull triggers na walifungwa. Kwani what was happening then enye sahi viongozi wetu hawawezi kufanya pia. Tukapata officers wenye wanakuwa convicted for their actions.
Transfer.
Thank you so much. We have been speaking to Christine Khabuya. She is an activist, and of course we've been looking at the documentary Blood Parliament, and I'm going to say it, gona mesimani biashara, so wacha tufanye biashara iendelee. Go find it on social media, on YouTube, Blood Parliament. Watch as a Kenyan. It's and give your own
anaogopa nini,
give your own,
because
screening inafanyika.
Understand where you stand as a Kenyan with the leaders that we have. And we said it this morning, 2027 is almost here. Simbali sana. Let us not forget. And I like that we were reminded. I like that we were reminded, because we would have forgotten. And just by the fact that we were reminded, now we're going to look at the Finance Bill 2025 to see what is it that is in the Finance Bill 2025, right? So we need to ask the questions. Yes, these are the things that allow us to ask questions. Ndio tujue mimi kama Mkenya, what's going on. So go through all this. Go through Finance Bill 2025. You have questions. You know what? Ask the right questions. Hii nchi ni yetu.
Yes.
Ni yetu.
Na ipende nchi yako, usifanye vitu ambavyo vitafanya nchi yako.
That's what saying, nchi ni yetu. We fight for our country. We defend our country. We stand for
maneno mabaya kwa
we stand for our, we love our country, by the way.
I love that.
We are not going uko kwingine. We love
spirit.
our country.
Yes.
And so we hold them accountable, including the one that is swindling Kenyans on jobs.
Aye.
So when we say okay. Thank you, Christine, for making time.